Now, let me ask you this, Andra. Now, in this film, there's, in general, there's often discussions between different dynamics with biracial children and their parents. And in this film, you and Glenn take it there. There's a really big scene that folks will definitely be like, oh, wow, they'll be gagged. You had to gather her together. Now, how did you prepare to portray a biracial daughter to a white mother in this film? And did you gain any insights or learnings during your research for the film, for the role?
Say that one more time. Sorry, love.
Yeah, it's okay. How did you prepare to portray a biracial daughter to a white mother in the film? And did you gain any insights or learnings during your research for the role?
Oh, that's actually really great. So my research was also my mother is actually biracial. So there was, and I have some experience. My granddad, God bless him. You know what I'm saying? He got around. You know what I mean? So it was a lot. It was we always actually joke in my family that we all like in school when people would ask, it was like you only have one grandma? How you only have one grandma? I was like, it's like 3 or 4 white grandmas in the family, but no. So I mean, the research was truly my own family. You know what I mean? Especially my mom, growing up where she grew up with a white mother, with a black father. I think the discrimination like my grandmother faced, so they didn't have money. They were poor when they grew up and having to like scrape for food when they were young, and she would go to get family services, you know what I mean, and to go get food assistance, and she would be approved, and then she would show up and she would have black children on her arm and they would deny her that immediately. So it was a very like, my mom said she grew up oftentimes, it was a small town that she grew up in, and she said oftentimes she felt like people looked at her as almost more of an abomination, you know what I mean? Because they already didn't like that you were black, but they really didn't like that you were mixed at the time. So that was definitely research for me. It was truly my own family. My mother, the family on my mother's side, they all have very interesting stories and different perspectives. So I think I kind of gleaned from everybody, And then from my grandmother, you know what I'm saying, as well, and sort of what that was like with her own family, disowning her because of that. So it was just, but also just the conversation. My grandmother was always very aware that, like, she said, I might have had biracial kids, I may have had mixed kids, but I was aware that I showed up white and they still showed up black to most people that we were from. So I think that's the dynamic that they look at in the film, that there are certain things that, though you are immersed in this culture, there are things that you can escape that I can't escape, you know what I mean? Or things that might be involved in that you might not be involved in, just by nature of how we're viewed, you know what I mean, in society. So I really, really love that he decided to go. I remember him calling me about it too. It was like literally out of the blue. And I was like, well, let's go, right?
Let's do it.
Well, let's go, right?
Now, in the film and in your next film, exhibiting forgiveness, it's clear the season and the theme of forgiveness is all around you at this time. Apparently. So can you share a time when you had to either ask for forgiveness or give forgiveness in your career, and what lesson did you walk away with?
In my career specifically, or just in my life, or
your career? But
in my career,
in your life that was more potent to you, than you can say your life.
Yeah, I mean, I think I had to. You know what? Okay, actually, that's a great question, by the way. Ooh, it's really good. Let's go there. Let's get deep. Let's get really deep. Yeah. So I think, I mean, in my life, I think also I even had to forgive, my parents, right? You know what I'm saying? I think that, but which is interesting because I don't remember ever feeling like I didn't forgive them. But I realized, my parents are, divorced, and, there was some stuff that happened definitely in our family, and I think the way that I functioned in the world, you know what I mean, just was kind of a result of that, you know what I mean? And once I realized that, I was like, okay, well, now I need to be accountable and, be responsible for my own actions. But I think the hardest person for me to forgive on a regular basis, though, is myself. And this character actually helped me do that, which was crazy. Yeah, I do not know how to put it into words. I realized, there was some forgiveness, including myself, that I knew I would not be able to play Ebony if I did not actually deal with this. You know what I mean? And so, there was just some trauma from my childhood, from a church that we went to, too, that I realized I thought I had forgiven, and I said I had forgiven, but I really hadn't let go in my heart. And so I definitely had to do that in my career. I got to forgive people every day when they say wild shit on the internet. You know what I'm saying? I forgive you.
I love that.
Right? So, yeah.
Thank you.